Hello, friends. Welcome into the PHNX Bets Daily podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of college basketball. Do me a favor. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined on this Natty Monday by Mr. Shawn of PHNX Sun Devils, my friend that I called in to help me break down this title game because he's a collegiate savant, right? So we kicked Shane to the curb. We brought in the expert here on a Monday. Shawn, what's the good word?
I'm feeling good. I made a little bit of money on the women's national championship yesterday. I'm ready to do the same on the men's. I've been doing real good this March, or I guess last March. Tournament, these tournaments. So I'm feeling good.
It's always weird that the tournament ends in April. I feel like it should start earlier in March, so it like comes to conclusion. But here we are on April 4th, and 2 days ago we had the Final Four. Were your Final Four picks doing okay?
No, the Final Four did not treat me well. I was of the opinion that the fix was in for Duke to win the national championship.
Agreed.
And so I rode that, and I sadly convinced Shane to also ride that. And it didn't go well for either of us, but Kansas I woke up feeling good, but Shane convinced me to go with Villanova, and then he switched in the morning without telling me. So those two bets did not go well for me, but in general, this tournament I've been doing pretty well.
Nice. So yeah, when Shane and I previewed the Final Four on Friday, he was staunchly on the Villanova bandwagon, and then of course, unbeknownst to our viewers until now, switched to Kansas, which was the right play. I told him on Friday Kansas was going to roll. They did. They won by 16. That game just outside of a couple buckets in the first half, I didn't think it was overly competitive. Kansas was the better team. Are they going to win it all? I don't know, but I like them. Probably more so than any bet on Saturday. And then I was with you with the Duke kind of, gross over display of Coach K. And let's watch him walk out of the tunnel by himself. He's not even with his team. I mean, just they overproduced. Yeah, they overproduced that. Duke was winning at halftime. I wanted North Carolina to win because I'm over the storyline, but I thought there was no way in hell that Coach K was going to be denied. They got to the championship. Maybe they'd lose, but I did not see them losing again to North Carolina after what happened at Cameron when he lost his last game at Cameron to the North Carolina Tar Heels. I did not think it was going to happen in the tournament. And credit to North Carolina and credit to their coaching staff, overcoming adversity, hitting the dagger three when it mattered most. I'm okay to swallow that because I can now say bon voyage for good to the charade because it was too much, Shawn.
No, it was, and like it was a little too perfect. Like the last national championship that Coach K won, it was UNC, Duke, Kansas, all in the Final Four. That he ended up beating Kansas in the national championship. It just like it was all lining up. I felt so confident, but apparently the fix was only in to get the matchup, not to get them to the national championship.
I mean, we blow Coach K a lot of smoke on this show, but to get to the Final Four, especially how they looked at the end of the year, they did a nice job. They had a nice tournament. They should have lost to Michigan State in the Sweet 16. I'm not going to divulge on that too much and how much money I lost on that game, but we have a matchup to preview tonight. But before we get to that, I want to remind everybody, now is the time. Get on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The biggest tournament of the year is concluding today. Tune into your team's biggest victory if they win, if one of your two teams is Kansas or North Carolina. New customers can bet just $5 on any team tonight to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It is that simple. You can utilize that and same game parlays to make some major coin on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, Shawn, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. You best believe after I cashed out with Kansas, I took that money to the bank and cashed out same day. It was a beautiful thing. It's a call to action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX, bet $5 on any college hoops team to win tonight, any being, North Carolina or Kansas, and get $200 in free bets. If they win, you win using that promo code PHNX. DraftKings Sportsbook is 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEPS. You have to be a new customer to do this. So if you're hopping on for the first time and seeing this, first of all, welcome. Go on DraftKings Sportsbook app now. You do have to deposit a minimum of $5. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings PHNX.com/sportsbook for more details. All right, Shawn, what do you got for tonight?
Listen, I have a hard time going against Kansas. It seems like Remy Martin is doing this personally to insult Sun Devils fans. He's just been unreal. They have who I think is probably going to end up winning the National Player of the Year. I feel like I'm going to butcher this. Ochai Agbaji. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have even tried. But Kansas is just really good. Like you said, they rolled, they shot really well against a Villanova team that is very good defensively. So I just think they're the best team in this tournament. They've been playing better basketball than anybody. Plus, I think UNC, their championship was ending Coach K's career.
Correct.
And all of that. They're coming off a big emotional win. I feel like they're set up for a letdown. But I do think it is going to be a high-scoring game. These are two teams that like to get out in transition, especially Kansas. They have one of the best transition offenses in the country. And I think that it's going to be a really fast-paced game, a lot of points, a lot of shots. So I like the over to hit relatively easy. I'm not going to say easy because nothing's easy in sports betting, but I think it is. I think it is set up for it to be a high-scoring game that Kansas may run away with. I think I wouldn't mind taking it 5 or 6 points, to be honest. I think Kansas is the better team.
In an effort to watch a hopefully competitive national championship game, I'm going to phase you on half of what you said.
Yeah.
I do think the over hits. I think it hits fairly easily. These are two teams that eclipsed 80 points on Saturday. I don't think either are supremely gifted defensively. I think they're both unbelievable offensive talents and juggernauts. I think we eclipse 151 probably with like 5 or 6 minutes left on the clock. I think both teams shoot relatively well. I am just going to root for UNC +4, but I mean, if you're making a case, I think Shawn has the better case because I think the big emotional letdown after Saturday for UNC is going to be too much. But I want this game to be competitive, so I'm going to phase you. I do think here's the one thing: UNC is very much battle tested. They've overcome adversity. They were an 8-loss team or almost a double-digit loss team during the regular season. They've lost their fair share of games. They're playing their best basketball at the end of the year. Whereas Kansas, you look at their tournament games. When have they really been challenged this tournament? And when I think challenge, I mean, okay, under 2 minutes left, you have to make your free throws. The pressure is on, right? I mean, they destroyed Miami by 26 points. The Providence win, yeah, but that game was not as close as the score indicated. Same with Creighton. And then they just roll Villanova, in my opinion, on Saturday. It's like the only thing that makes me feel like this could be a one-possession game entering the last 2 minutes is the fact that UNC has really been in a bunch of different nail biters. They've overcome adversity as it relates to two different Coach K coronations, basically, and they've come out on top. But the big emotional letdown, like I'd be anxious to go back and look. How did UNC fare in the ACC tournament after they knocked off Duke? I mean, those are the kind of things I would look at. I don't think I think Kansas will win. I'm not saying take the Kansas money line, but 4 points, you can give me 4 points with UNC and I can sleep well at night.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. UNC hasn't really had too many impressive wins in the tournament either. The win over Baylor obviously is incredibly impressive.
Right.
But like they beat Marquette, they beat a UCLA team that I thought has been kind of fraudulent all year.
They had an easy bracket.
And then Duke it's the biggest rivalry in college basketball. Of course, you're going to get up for that. But there's also Armando Bacot. I don't know how to say his last name either, but like he hurt his ankle near the end of that Duke game. Don't know if he's going to be 100%. He's their best rebounder. Really good. Just a really good player, really important for that team. Kansas has just been, they've been kind of a juggernaut. They haven't really, like you said, you mentioned like the Providence and Creighton games they haven't really played close games, but exactly. They've kind of handled.
I know it's not a knock on them. I feel like I think there are a lot of people who feel like Duke might have been a better matchup for Kansas. I don't necessarily agree with that. What I will say is this: they destroyed Villanova on Saturday night. If you in the grand scheme of things, and Villanova was one of the best teams in the country from start to finish. So if you're looking at a resume builder, that's it. But like, was I impressed with them being Texas Southern and Creighton handily? No. I think that they've had the easiest path, and that's what happens when you're a number one seed.
Yep.
like
Yeah.
you're gifted this path. And so I shouldn't be knocking them because they took care of business in the ultra competitive Big 12 this year. And that's great. I'm just more impressed with what UNC has done. And thus I'm rooting for them to kind of complete I don't know, the end game, the end result of a brutal, I feel like, tournament and ACC regular season. The ACC is the best conference. I think they should be represented by the national champion. So I'm rooting for UNC wholeheartedly. I don't think they're going to win though. I think Kansas wins.
I am as someone who went to an ACC school, I have been saying for a lot of this season that the ACC is fraudulent. And
What?
they proved me wrong. I mean, two of the teams got to the Final Four, three of them in the Elite Eight. So I mean, they in the tournament they showed up, but I don't know. I was not a fan of a lot of the ACC basketball I watched this year. But like I've said, Kansas
They didn't pull a Big Ten, that's for sure.
That is absolutely true. But yeah, Kansas has just been too good. If they did what they did against Villanova, shoot over 50% from three, they're not going to lose this game. So and Remy Martin's been playing his best basketball probably of his career this tournament. So I just think everything is lined up for them to win this game handedly. But like you, I am hoping for a good game. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not a complete destruction, but I hope they hit a couple free throws at the end and win by 5.
It almost feels like it's either going to be a Kansas blowout or a UNC win by maybe a point or two.
Yeah, you can on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I was looking, you can get Kansas to win by 1 or 2 at like plus 1100.
Damn.
So if you think it's going to be that close, you can get pretty good odds on them to win by 1 or 2 points.
You can also go to gophnx.com and check out the complete library of our phenomenal content. Become a member at just 50 cents for the first month, $8.99 for the subsequent month, or you can cash in on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, take your funds and your winnings, go become a member for the entire year at just under $60. That's going to get you a free t-shirt from the PHNX merchandise locker. And then you can spend some additional coin on one of our phenomenal hats that have just debuted at the PHNX merchandise locker for under $30. They're fantastic. I can't wait to rock mine. Are you sad a little bit the college basketball is officially over and thus, not to knock on the spring sports for college athletics, but I mean, really it's college football and then it's college basketball, men's and women's. And then everybody kind of goes into hibernation. You're a college guy. Are you sad that it's coming to an end?
For sure. I mean, the summer is the worst. Is the not the worst, but it's definitely for college sports. It sucks. They disappear. ASU baseball is tragic, kind of. So
it's not looking good.
ASU softball is goated. They're amazing. So I at least have them, but otherwise it's kind of tough. I came into PHNX. I came into this field professionally with college basketball. It's all I've had. So it is going to be sad for it to leave. I'm going to miss it, but football is right around the corner. It's closer than you think.
Yes, and again, we're going to have coverage of Sun Devils and Arizona Wildcats spring sports, which is good news for everybody who is partaking at gophnx.com, which you should absolutely do. But we will say goodbye to college basketball after tonight. Be sure to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube at PHNX Sports and gophnx.com. Shawn, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. I hope to have you back on soon.
I look forward to it.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back. Maybe Shane will join us tomorrow. PHNX Bets Daily is live every day at noon. For Shawn, I'm Johnny Venerable. See you tomorrow.